Setup is all about minimizing the pad recycle time that's needed between launches from the same platform. So with 2 launch pads on site, we reset one while we launch from the other, which is what makes the possibility of back-to-back missions so good. Now, our quickest turnaround yet, though, happened to be not from these 2 pads at LC1, but from LC1 and our Launch Complex 2 site on Wallops Island, Virginia, where we flipped 2 launches within 24 hours from opposite sides of the world. Now, our pad for Electron missions and hypersonic test flights on our HASTE rocket is located within the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport on Virginia's eastern shore, and is set to see plenty of action in the months to come too. And of course, there is our brand new launch site for our new rocket Neutron, positioned right next door to Launch Complex 2. That's set to be completed and officially opened soon, ahead of Neutron's debut flight. Today, though, it is Launch Complex 1's time to shine yet again as we get closer and closer to that T0 liftoff time on the countdown clock. So now just over 3 minutes away from launch, and we are about to enter terminal count at T-minus 2 minutes. And that's when all of the final vehicle and pad systems checks are conducted by Electron autonomously. Our launch operators will voice those checkouts across the audio channels along the way. So let's turn the volume up and listen in as Electron rolls through the countdown.
All as good as a green.
To all operators, we are go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes.
And LD is go for launch.
The vehicle is fully on internal power. AFTS is green and enabled for flight.
LOX load is complete. System is in recirculation. Anti-geysering is disabled. Stage 1 and 2 tanks are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purge enabled.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Beginning pitch off.
Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
We are on our way to space for IQPS, a beautiful ascent from Electron, clear against the night sky for its 66th launch. Now watch as those speed and altitude dials continue to climb up as we come up against maximum aerodynamic pressure shortly. We're now at T plus 53 seconds and counting into flight, so that call out for max Q should be heard soon across the nets.
Cleared max Q.
That's max Q confirmed, and Electron is continuing nominally, now about a minute or so away from staging, and MECO on the first stage. So we're going to see all 9 of those Rutherford engines on the bottom of the first stage shut down, and then very quickly after that, the first stage will be released by the separation locks on the vehicle. Straight away, we should see the second stage Rutherford engine light up to push Electron and its payload away and onward to orbit, just a few moments away from that now.
Stage 1 propulsion holding nominal. Stand by for MECO in roughly 30 seconds.
"15 seconds to staging."
Insert burnout detect mode.
MECO confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
That is a healthy Rutherford engine startup on the second stage now that we are clear of first stage MECO and stage separation. Electron's altitude now is sitting at over 95 kilometers above Earth, boosting along at more than 8,000 kilometers an hour. And everything is going very well so far for this mission. Now, up next is fairing separation, when the 2 halves of Electron's nose cone separate and fall away. And that should be coming up very soon now.
Fairing jettison confirmed.
HVB discharge holding nominal.
Exactly as planned. There goes those fairing halves from Electron, and hello to QPS SAR 11 on your screen there, safely integrated to the kick stage on top of the second stage as it continues on to our 575 kilometer target orbit. We've got just under 5 minutes or so of engine burn time for this stage 2 Rutherford left to go, and it takes absolute precision and control from our guidance system for the second stage to keep it on the path to orbit. And our engineers have to take into account the Earth's rotation, the forces of gravity, resistance against the vehicle, and the angle it should be oriented to carry the kick stage to a nominal transfer orbit. Now, Electron is programmed to make any adjustments needed along the way, but so long as those 2 lines on your screen for our planned and actual trajectory are closely aligned, then the mission remains in the clear. One of the next actions coming up on the second stage will be the battery hot swap. Now, because the length of the engine burn for the second stage, the batteries that power the propulsion system need to be swapped halfway through, with the hot in the name battery hot swap coming from the fact that the engine continues to fire while that happens. Now, when the switchover is complete, we should see the first set of battery packs eject from the second stage, so let's watch out for that now.
HVB discharge holding nominal, approaching hot swap in roughly 30 seconds.
Throttling down.
Battery jettison confirmed.
Confirm hot swap successful.
A seamless battery hot swap there for the Rutherford engine, continuing on bright and beautiful past 240 kilometres in altitude now. And we've got about 2.5 minutes left in this engine burn before the second stage reaches the nominal transfer orbit to separate the kick stage.
HVB discharge holding nominal.
The trajectory that Electron is travelling along right now will carry the second stage and the kick stage to an elliptical orbit of Earth. And this serves as a staging point for the final orbital insertion that is needed from the kick stage to place the IQPS satellite on a circular path. But before the kick stage can do its thing, it needs to be separated and sent on its way once the second stage closes out. And we're still a few moments away from that shutdown, but it is coming up shortly. All right, not long now until SECO and stage separation for this mission. And the process for both is much the same as what went down with Electron's first stage separation and main engine cutoff. Only this time it involves shutting down the Rutherford you can see on our screen for second engine cutoff, and then separation of the kick stage from the second stage. Now, that second stage shutdown is a carefully controlled and planned event to make sure that the kick stage's velocity and position are exactly where they need to be for the next phase of the mission. And we can expect to hear 1 or 2 call-outs from Mission Control as they monitor the guidance systems for that. Let's listen in now.
SECO confirmed.
Stage separation confirmed.
Nominal transfer orbit achieved.
Great call out there from Mission Control. That is SECO confirmed for the second stage, with the kick stage now successfully separated to its transfer orbit with the QPS SAR 11 satellite for IQPS. Both have a bit of a journey ahead of them as the kick stage and the satellite go for a coast around the Earth before the kick stage can ignite its own propulsion system to perform the final maneuvers that place the payload on orbit. So we've got about 40 minutes or so until that takes place, but we are not done yet. We're going to take a bit of a break now, so go and grab a coffee and enjoy the relaxing tunes of our good friend Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. And I hope I'll see you back here to close out the mission with payload deployment soon. Hello and welcome back to the final moments of our mission for the Mouintain God Guards. We are preparing to deploy the QPS SAR-11 satellite to a 575-kilometre circular Earth orbit for SAR Earth Imaging Company, IQPS. Now, Electron lifted off about 40 or so minutes ago from Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1 in New Zealand at 3:31 a.m. local time and has performed nominally on this mission so far. Now, after the kick stage was separated to its transfer orbit with the IQPS satellite, the mission entered a coast phase around Earth for about 40 minutes or so. Now, about 2 minutes ago, the Curie engine on the kick stage ignited to course correct the mission to the circular orbit that we need. And all was nominal there for Curie startup and shutdown, so we are just moments away for the QPS SAR-11 satellite to be deployed. So let's tune in now to Mission Control and listen into the final few moments of the mission.
Payload separation, QPS SAR-11 confirmed.
Great call out there from Mission Control. That is payload deployment confirmed and mission success for Electron. And welcome to orbit QPS SAR-11. Now, congratulations to the whole team at IQPS, another bird in the sky for your constellation. And once again, congratulations to the Rocket Lab team on another successful launch, because that is 66 Electron launches in total now and our 8th mission of the year, with our next Electron mission less than 2 weeks away from Launch Complex 1 again. So stay tuned on our socials to learn more about that next mission in the coming days. It feels good to be stepping up the cadence and kicking goals with Electron. So thanks again for tuning in. And until next time, this is Rocket Lab Mission Control signing off.